your girls.
Yep. Sarah Barnes, the head coach of the University of Miami, trying to unlock their offense. Can't generate enough offense. We're underway here in Coral Gables, but so far for Miami this season, and you wonder about it in terms of how Louisville will approach this game. But in just about every single offensive category, Miami is being outdone 2-1 by the opposition.
It's going to be very interesting because you talk about character, especially when you go down and you lose at home against a team that's full of confidence in the opposition. So the first goal, the first 10 to 15 minutes, how do you ask questions of the opposition and impose your identity? I think that's going to be key here tonight for both of these sides.
And Louisville with a very proud program, under 500 this year, a bit unusual for them, but a big win against Pittsburgh. And I'm sure Coach Ferguson is hoping that all carries over to today.
You just saw the different types of goals that they were able to score. A shot from distance, balls being whipped into a dangerous area, and that near post and that far post run. That's something that Karen Ferguson Days wants her players to always attack those three motions of the goal mouth.
And if you're Miami, Ricky, and you haven't been able to generate consistent offense, it's not something you can just turn the switch on. How do they get more offense?
I think it starts with getting on the ball just a tiny bit more, get the confidence. And as the confidence starts to grow, you're going to move the opposition from left to right, and those gaps will open up. And then you get Rogers, you get Mahmoudpour and Hood on the ball in those half positions. And they're on your front line because you want them to express themselves. You want to take risk in that final third. And I think it's a good opportunity for those players just to get in a rhythm here in ACC play.
For Miami, 6 goals in 9 games. They do not have a single player with more than 1 goal. Miami in green, Louisville in red. Floyd, Huckabee, Alexander, Roberts, Chester, Howard, Geyser, Zamborini, Cherry, Jennings, and Ellsworth, the starting 11 for Louisville. Dagenet, Rogers, Cerna, McCartney, Hood, Mahmoudpour, Edwards, Brown, Meeks, Felton, and Tucker for Miami. Tucker leads Miami in assists with 3. Hurricanes have been outshot this season, 113-51. That's Huckabee trying to regain her wind here.
Bit of an awkward collision here. Shooting into the stomach does not feel good if you're Huckabee. Hopefully she's okay to keep on going because she's a very important part of what Louisville likes to do on both sides of the ball.
Getting late in the season for women's soccer. Nonetheless, on a warm day like today in South Florida, conditioning will be a big part of what's going on.
I think you need to take care of the ball. We talked about both of these teams playing a couple days ago, so the legs of fitness is always going to be a question. So who's going to get on the ball just a tiny bit more and move their opposition and make them chase? Because one thing that we do know, the ball never gets tired. So make that ball sweat, open up gaps, and how do you penetrate? That's going to be the question for both of these head coaches here today.
A pass a little too strong and a turnover by Louisville. Long pass down the sideline by Miami.
Already we see Louisville how good defensively in terms of their structure they are. So compact from back to front and clogging any sort of passing lanes and trying to force turnovers higher up the field. And now, once again, in transition moments, asking questions of this Miami side.
There's Louisville with an opportunity here. Into the box go the Cardinals. Their first opportunity could be dangerous. Ball pinballs around just a little bit. First shot of the day, and Dagenet perhaps gets a little piece of that one over the crossbar. Louisville pretty persistent on the attack. Dagenet, as I mentioned earlier, 220 career saves for Miami. Here's another look, Ricky.
You just see the numbers that they commit in the final third. It's Howard here that gets that final touch there. Clean strike with his left foot. We saw last time out the ability just to shoot from distance from this Louisville side. Big time save from Dagenet just to punch it up and over the crossbar.
First corner kick of the day comes in low. Perhaps not exactly what Louisville was looking for.
And especially with the weather, tired legs, set pieces become that much more important. You're not generating a lot through the run of play. You whip the ball into a dangerous area and you ask questions of the opposition in terms of their shape and try to win their individual battles. I do think set pieces are going to have a big play in today's contest.
Thrown by Alexander. Cerna for Miami. Dagenet tries to clear and sails it out of play. Rogers gets a piece of that one for Miami.
I do think for Sarah Barnes and University of Miami, that middle three, like I mentioned in the open, that spacing is going to be really important. And also the decision-making for playing out of the back, because we see Louisville, they're trying to clog that middle third, try to force and invite Miami just to play into that trafficked area. So picking and choosing your times when to break lines, but also when to play direct over the top is going to be really important to unlock this Cardinal back line.
Cardinals on the move, playing it out wide. Huckabee trying to find a friend here on the throw-in. Early on, no score here in Coral Gables. Miami trying to rebound from a tough one against Clemson. Louisville comes in soaring. 10th meeting between these two. And Louisville leads the all-time series with 7 wins, just 1 loss, and there's been 1 tie in the series. Louisville's played very well here in Coral Gables. Cardinals are 3-1-1 in Coral Gables, and they've won the last 3 matches here in Coral Gables. At the moment, it appears that Miami's having a tough time getting across the midline.
You have to give credit to Louisville, just how they set up and trying to force turnovers so compact in your defensive shape. Karen Ferguson days, it's something that was mentioned in the pre-talk for sure. How good can they be defensively, forcing turnovers in transition moments? That first look needs to be forward. for Louisville when they force a turnover, because Miami leave themselves vulnerable in the back sometimes because they overcommit a lot of numbers. So there's a lot of real estate going back the other way. And it's been a really good start, 11 minutes in here for the visitors.
Louisville does have Aaron Floyd in goal, and we haven't even seen her yet. What do you see in Louisville's overall approach defensively?
I think very clear in the way that they want to press and the way they want to set up defensively, and also just the patience, because you see when one red jersey goes, there's a lot of numbers around her that go with her. It's always hunting in packs and very decisive when to play out of the back and when just to circulate the ball and make University of Miami step off their lines. But I'm very impressed with just the patience and the professionalism from Louisville here.
86 degrees here in Coral Gables today. Sunny. It'll be a sweltering day. Alexander's been busy, so we'll have another throw-in for the Cardinals.
Just having a very difficult time just to connect any sort and get in any rhythm, this University of Miami side. And when that happens, you just need to play simple. Connect your first pass, do the basics very well, and then when the confidence starts to grow, that's when you can start to take more chances. It's a good ball centrally. And now set pieces once again. You slow things down, you whip a ball into a dangerous area and gain some real estate higher up the field.
McCartney for Miami, the freshman from Texas. Here's another look at a bit of a collision right around midfield.
You just see Haley Howard just comes in through the backside of Lauren Meeks.
Nice job serving that one in. Delaney Brown for Cerna. Off the left foot. "13 minutes into the match, it seems that Louisville right now is first to the ball.
Just more proactive, a bit more intense, and winning those 50-50 battles and winning their individual duels.
Aaron Floyd, 6 saves against Pittsburgh. 4 straight games with 4 saves or more in goal for Louisville. Last year played and started in 14 games. Floyd last season for Louisville had 32 saves. Has yet to be tested by the University of Miami. Cerna gesturing for the ball and collects it. Tried to get it a connection with Rogers, and Louisville was there to impede on that. Cerna with the throw-in for Miami.
It just comes off of the little pocket of space that Mahmoudpour pops in from that top line, and as she does that, very comfortable at just spraying the ball wide, and then you create an overload with Cerna and Rogers. Once again, just no end product at the moment for University of Miami, but it's been better over the last couple minutes, getting on the ball just a tiny bit more in terms of their possession shape.
McCartney plays it back. Felton looking at a 1v1, plays it back. Cerna was creeping up the right sideline, the near sideline for Miami, and now Louisville with a counterattack. Cardinals on the move. That one on the ground a bit wide. Not much of a threat.
just changing the point of attack. I think it's going to be really key for the visitors because Miami, they want to suck you towards one side and leave themselves extremely open on the weak side. So Huckabee and Alexander on the two players that provide the width for the Cardinals here need to be very active and very decisive in their movement. And these are the moments that I'm talking about for University of Miami. Picking and choosing when your times, when to stay on the ball, but also when to bypass that initial pressure because you see, Louisville, how many numbers they're committing forward. So there's going to be gaps between lines. And now the responsibility lies on the players higher up the field to find those little half spaces to get the ball in the half turn and to unlock some of the pressure that Miami has been under in his first 17 minutes.
Thrown by Huckabee. Louisville with an opportunity right here. Nice deflection by Cerna, getting back and doing a nice bit of defending for Miami.
The nice little battle that we have on this near side between Alexandra and Cerna. Players that are very comfortable 1v1, good defensively, and also very good offensively. So something to keep an eye on is this nice little battle between these two players here.
Good job swooping in for the University of Miami by McCartney. That one was in the danger zone. Louisville seems as if they've got something percolating here. Now into the box, looking for a good angle, and Dagenet is right there to scoop it up.
It's exactly what we saw in the open. You have a little bit of individual brilliance from Addie Chester, and it's a great ball across the face of goal. And it's that weak side defending that's always going to be so important. Give credit to Emma Tucker, like for like, with Huckabee to deny a goal-scoring opportunity for Louisville here. You look at the goals that Louisville scored against Pitt. Two of them were coming from that back post run, that late trailing run from the weak side. So I do think if you're Sarah Barnes, that was going to be a message to your defensive unit. And so far, Emma Tucker and Adriana Cerna have been spot on in their individual challenges.
3 shots for Louisville. Hurricanes do not have a shot yet. Louisville with 1 shot on goal. Delaney Brown plays it back. Now Miami trying to generate something moving forward. Cerna wants it on the near sideline, racing up from her defensive spot, and that pass a little bit too heavy for Cerna to catch up to. "20 minutes into the match, there goes Meeks tailgating along the sideline, and Dagenet goes to the ground to save that one.
20 minutes in, Dagenet has answered every single question asked of her. Very good when she comes off her line and very decisive. I do think if you're Karen Ferguson days, you want more numbers to get inside that box. On a red jersey, about 10 to 15 yards from that ball, but good goalkeeping once again from Melissa Dagenet.
Good effort by Louisville. Really good effort from the right side. Right now, the match being controlled by Louisville, 20 minutes in. Louisville seems to be very comfortable playing against Miami right now.
Just so much time and space, especially that back line for the Cardinals. It's always interesting when you have that time and space because you don't want to let complacency creep in. I think you have more than you do, and that's when the silly mistakes start to happen, but you need to move the ball very quick. We talked about how hot it is here in South Florida. How many games these girls have played in such a short amount of time, so fatigue is going to play in this match. So ball circulation, how quick and how clean can you move the ball from left to right, I think is going to be key to find that opening gap to hopefully get that go-ahead goal here.
Louisville about one step ahead of Miami here so far. Connecting passes. Floyd trying to relieve some pressure off the head of Serna.
I do think if you're Sarah Barnes as well, you can live with those balls from a deep lying position to wide areas. You never want a team to go through you. You're okay with them going around you. So 22 minutes in, yes, you haven't seen a lot of the ball for University of Miami, but defensively, you've been very, very stout and hard to break down.
Rogers with a takeaway. We've seen Huckabee, who's a freshman, have an impact here early in this match. Won a state championship her senior year in high school, runner-up her junior year. She's been pretty busy on the far side of the field here today. There's Floyd, Louisville goalie. Louisville unbeaten their last 3 matches. 3-2 win over Pittsburgh. Louisville's won 6 straight against Miami. 3 in a row here in Coral Gables. Cardinals a bit of a road trip here in South Florida, and then they'll go to the Midwest and take on Notre Dame. Felton did a nice job slaloming through the defense, but then the pass is off the foot of Serna.
Yeah, it's the second time in the last couple minutes that Serna gets herself into a very good position. But that first touch just lets her down. I do think if you're University of Miami, having those outside backs join the attack can create overloads and unbalancing this Louisville Cardinal side. You're going to have a lot of success from that instance of play.
Geigley comes in, who saw in our open had a big goal against Pittsburgh, so Geigley comes in.
Number 12, Gianna Lilo. In for number 2, Maya Rogers.
Wheeler for Edwards on the Miami side. Angelillo for Rogers. Bentley enters the fray for Louisville. Morgan Bentley for Lucy Roberts. It's been Louisville that's been the more aggressive team, but Miami's been able to hold them off.
Additional substitution for Louisville. Number 2.
Now the Cardinals with something brewing here. 1v2. Long one. Dagenet stretching out.
Really good strike from distance here. From Ellsworth from distance. A lot of whip and a lot of dip on this ball. Hits it so pure and so clean. You see the lack of rotation, how pure she hits it. Dagenet almost gets beaten, but I think she has it covered. But you just see Louisville getting confident, striking from distance. Doesn't need a second invitation, so I think the message for Sarah Barnes defensively, you have to be very happy, but you have to close down space when they're about 40 yards in because they can pull it from distance. But I do think you need to get the ball higher up the field and get your special players, Mahmoudpour, Hood, and Rogers, in higher positions in the remainder of this first half.
We'll take a break. It's a wire break in Coral Gables. We'll take a break as well with no score.
The 3 for Me only at Chili's serves up bottomless drinks, bottomless chips.
Gables, Miami and Louisville in a scoreless match. Maddie Ellsworth almost delivered the icebreaker for Louisville with a laser long distance shot that I think almost Dagenet perhaps looked at it and then said, oh. Started to quickly track it because that thing almost was about ready to sneak in.
Just a whip and the dip on the strike from Ellsworth from distance. Such a nightmare for a goalkeeper because you can't read the flight of the ball, the way that it's moving. So you have to have a courtesy dive and cover yourself on the back end of things. But I do think the message for Karen Ferguson-Dace is how do we get that opening goal? That first goal is just going to be so important for the Cardinals here because that's going to really invite University of Miami to step off their line and try to chase the game a tiny bit more. And once that happens, leave themselves vulnerable going back the other way in transition moments. So I do think who's going to get that first goal is going to be really, really important for the success of this match.
Dagenet clears it away for Miami. First half in Coral Gables, Miami and Louisville. Mahmoudpour for Miami was chasing along the sidelines. Mahmoudpour, probably Miami's most effective offensive player this season, but having a tough time getting touches this afternoon.
No, she's got those touches. She's popped off that front line, right off the shoulder of that midfield line of Louisville. You haven't had the service that you would want her to have if you're Sarah Barnes. So how do you get her more involved, especially those players on the front line? That's going to be the question to be answered for University of Miami.
Nearly a nice through ball, almost on a dead run. Hurricanes deflected away, but that sets up a corner for the Cardinals. Sends Addie Chester to the corner, and an opportunity for Louisville to get the icebreaker.
Addie Chester, 2 goals, 4 assists on the season, so you know she can whip in a quality ball from a set piece opportunity.
That one comes in a little bit low again, a line drive. Stern has worked hard today in this blazing heat. Here comes some reinforcements from Miami. Llewellyn will come on with Katarina Molina. Molina for Hood. Louisville trying to cross the field, the collection not made. Angelillo involved there. It seems as if Louisville getting everybody involved. Miami searching for somebody to step up and make a play or create a play that will light the fuse for more energy.
I think it starts defensively for University of Miami. If you can force turnovers, not so deep in your defensive half, higher up the field, that's going to give you more success and more room to operate in. You don't want to get so deep because that gives the confidence for Louisville just to keep putting pressure on, get more numbers involved in their attacking third. Moments like that don't help as well. You need to be a bit more cleaner. Just when you get on the ball higher up the field, you don't need a second invitation just to take chances, to be direct, to play in behind and test the shape of this Louisville back line because everything has been in front of them. And for your center back, that's an easy day at the office. You just step into that middle third, you move from left to right. But what happens when you face your own goal? That's when mistakes start to happen. So I do think if you're Sarah Barnes, how do you play in behind and play direct with the willing runners is going to be the way you can unlock the opposition here today.
Half an hour into the match and no score in Coral Gables. Huckabee with the throw-in. The freshman Huckabee from Kentucky. South Oldham High School. Angelillo trying to get there in a bit of a foot race along the sideline. Bentley stumbling along. Angelillo will have it for Miami. And give way to Cerna. Salas under a little bit of pressure, nudges it backwards. Floyd for Louisville. Coming up at halftime, we'll take a look at a 2 o'clock match coming up, Clemson and Boston College. Florida State's in action today, a big one inside the ACC against North Carolina, two of the powers in this conference. They last met in the College Cup semifinals. North Carolina was the winner there, 3-2. FSU defeated Carolina in the ACC championship a year ago. So that's a big featured match. Molina for Miami. Mahmoudpour trying to get free. Interesting to note, on a day like today, first thing that comes to mind is mental, or rather physical conditioning and all of that. But in this league, not only does your body have to be conditioned, but mentally you have to be sharp because you're playing great players, great teams, great coaches, great strategy in almost every match.
That's why you choose to come to the ACC, right? Because it's one of the strongest, if not the strongest conference in all of NCAA Division I women's soccer. So every time you walk across that white line, it's an opportunity just to test yourself against the best, but also just to showcase yourself, not only to yourself, but also your head coach, that you say you deserve to be on the field at every single moment you can. Talk about how competitive and every single minute matters, every decision matters because the margin of error is just so thin.
Hurricanes trying to put something together here. Up for the task is Aaron Floyd.
One of the best passage of play that we've seen from University of Miami. You get numbers in a central location, you create a little bit of combination play, and then you have a bit of confusion between this back line and midfield line of Louisville. Katarina Molina doesn't need a second invitation. But easy save in the end from Floyd.
Picking up on your point also, Ricky, if you're a coach in this league, you got everything you need in terms of trying to, if a player is going to complain, well, you most likely just say, tomorrow night we're playing against an All-American. Go ahead, playing against a national player. Go ahead and prove it.
Exactly.
You want to be a national player? You want to be an All-American? Here's your opportunity.
That's all you can ask for as well as a player, just an opportunity, right? Because you always bet on yourself, you always back yourself. So the ACC gives you that opportunity. Exactly for University of Miami, probably not the best showing against Clemson. You turn around and now you welcome Louisville side that is on a roll at the moment, full of confidence. So what is that answers to those questions for University of Miami? And so far, 36 minutes in, I do think defensively, Sarah Barnes has to be very pleased. But how do you get the attacking phase kick-started here?
There's Molina off the left foot. Gets a shot away. Molina coming on, trying to provide that spark for Miami. Molina, in the last couple of minutes, 2 shots toward Floyd.
And she's been very active, just has a little bit of confidence just to make something out of nothing. And I love just to see the willingness to get herself higher up the field and strike from distance. She's been good since coming on the field, Molina.
Louisville toward the far post and just a little bit off in the connection.
Really good idea here from Bentley as his ball rotates over. We talked about how important for Louisville is that far post run, that trailing run to the weak side. She tries to find Huckabee with just too much pace and power behind that ball.
For the Hurricanes, number 22, Taylor Shell.
Bentley is from Atlanta. Taylor Shell will come on for Miami, veteran player. And immediately will get a touch. Fiona Geyser enters the match for Louisville here in the 37th minute. Getting late here in the first half. One of these squads, if they get the icebreaker, would take the momentum with them into the second half.
It's a really good touch there from Mahmoudpour. Ball whipped up into the air to bring it down to win. That throw in for your side and just slow things down, get the real estate higher up the field, get numbers more involved in the attacking third. Little things like that for number 9 for a striker are just so important.
Floyd, a native of Connecticut. Been on a bit of a roll lately in goal. I think that probably happens, right? Goalies also go through periods where they stop everything. Everything coming at them looks like a beach ball. Louisville now trying to grab a 1-goal lead, right off on the far side, just outside of the box. Floyd's been very good last several games for Louisville. And if anything's going to look like a beach ball, this is probably a good area for that.
Fair enough. See what you did there? But no matter what position you play in the field, just getting into rhythm, getting in confidence. As an athlete, confidence is everything. So forward, if you start to see the ball hit the back of the net, you think you can score every single type of goal in the book, and from any distance. And for goalkeepers, the same thing.
A bit of a turnover, shot gets away, and well off target.
Just so instinctual here from Molly Cochran. Just gets on the ball, eyes for the goal, just mishits it. Her balance is just leaning towards the wrong way. That's why you see it go wide of the goal mouth.
Now we're entering the final 5 minutes of our first half here in Coral Gables. Two players get tied up in the back. McCartney for Miami, both number 4s. McCartney and Hiscock, looks like.
I think she gets away with one here. McCartney lose first touch. Cochran just picks her pocket. You see how opportunistic this Louisville side is with the numbers that they have in the attacking third of the field.
Autumn Weeks. Here's Wheeler for Miami. Nobody wants to concede a goal now this late in the half. Here's Wheeler for Miami. Pretty good left leg for Wheeler into the box. We've seen Wheeler do a nice job this year off of set pieces.
I mean, two things you ask from a set piece, just a good quality to beat that first marker, and secondary, just to put the ball in a dangerous area and tell your teammates to go up and get it. Give them a chance, as we see the foul there. So every set piece from 40 yards in for both of these sides, I think, are going to be very important just to cause chaos within the back line and both goalkeepers, because it's a brilliant way to find that opening goal when you're not creating those clear-cut chances through the run of play.
Molina tripped up. See if Louisville can take advantage of that. Louisville on the attack here in the final couple of minutes of the first half. And will come up empty. Perhaps both coaches now formulating a plan in their minds for how they want to see the second half unfold into the final 90 seconds or so of the first half here in Coral Gables. Neither team really threatening. Minute to go in the first half. Mahmoudpour tries to thread through a tight needle. Shell with a sense of urgency now for Miami here in the final 30 seconds.
Last couple minutes, Llewellyn has been very good in the middle of the park, just clogging passing lanes, forcing turnovers. She's been a big impact player off the bench for Sarah Barnes, and she's made a very good difference here today.
There's Salas.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
That's pretty much going to bring us to the end of the first half, the first 45 minutes in the books. So 45 minutes down, another 45 to go. What do you think of the first half?
I do think if you're Sarah Barnes, the positive to take away from it is defensively, right? Because anything Louisville did was around you, never through you. But again, the question for the rest of the season, how do you get your attacking more involved, and how do you get them to score that opening goal? And for the Cardinals, get on the ball, get clear-cut opportunities, and ask more questions of Melissa Dajane. You're getting to really good spots, but don't have the ability just to be clinical in the attacking third. It's going to be really interesting this next 45 minutes.
We've reached intermission here in Coral Gables on a warm afternoon. We'll take a break. It's halftime with no score. All right, away we go. Do you anticipate either side making a tactical change?
I wouldn't be surprised if Sarah Barnes and University of Miami just commit a bit more numbers forward and play more attacking football. Other than that, I don't think you change too much. And for Louisville, I think it's just a mentality. Just taking more chances, getting more on the ball, creating more overload central, wide areas. When you have a second and you have an opportunity to take a strike, don't think twice and always put pressure on Melissa Dajane.
Emma Tucker with a throw-in. Emma Tucker leads Miami in assists with 3 this season. Hurricanes coming into this match have been outshot 113-51.
I do think for Sarah Barnes, we've seen Llewellyn was very good in that first half. She stays in. We have Hood comes in, Molina. So you have a lot of verticality on the front line with Molina, Hood, and Mahmoudpour. So look for them to play in beyond and stretch this back line for Louisville. And you have Llewellyn, who likes to sit right in front of that back four and be that destroyer type number 6 and clog a lot of passing lanes to do a lot of the dirty work.
See what one of these teams can conjure up here. Been a lot of defending. Addie Chester went up and over. Another look at this one. Good effort.
I think they're always tough for a referee because you're asking Cerna just to move her feet, but she stands her ground. Actually, Addie Chester that rises up, just gets topped over. I've seen look nice in slow motion there. Hopefully she's okay to keep on going. But really interesting as that goes into favor of University of Miami, because so many times when that happens, it goes in favor of Louisville.
We did mention that Molina probably earned more time, and she is starting for Miami in the second half. Hood on the move.
And it's that connection that we're talking about. Llewellyn into the feet of Hood, and then you have the off-the-ball running from Molina or Mahmoudpour. Nice little instance and pattern of play from the Hurricanes there, but you want to see it more times often than not in the second half.
Serna, what is the challenge for Miami to break down this final last line of defense against Louisville? They just have so much trouble penetrating. And in addition to, Miami hasn't had much in terms of free kicks. This will be their corner kicks. This will be their first corner. So really no set pieces.
And one of the hardest things in soccer is to beat just a so compact defensive structure. So two things have to happen as we see the set piece from Reese Wheeler here.
Wheeler, Angelillo, cleared away by Louisville.
You talk about a mid to low block in their defensive structure for Louisville. You need to be very patient on the ball. Move the ball from left to right, make them step off of their line, and when they step off their line, that's when you have that movement, and you have to be quick to penetrate the line, but also the ball needs to move extremely quick. Move the ball from left to right, make them have a bit of confusion and chaos within the back line, and the front line has to have the ability just to make those selfless runs, right? So maybe you make a run if you're Mahmoudpour from a center channel out towards the corner flag to pull out one of the center backs, and that opens up a gap for Caroline Hood or Katarina Molina to join and vacate that spot. So little things like that need to unbalance the opposition. Miami has not done that so far here.
When you're offensively starved, set pieces also come into place. You got to be able to find a way to generate more set pieces.
They become that much more dangerous. You just put a ball into a dangerous area, and you cause a little bit of chaos right in front of Floyd, the goalkeeper for Louisville.
You can draw analogies to other sports. It's tough to drive the length of the field in football, right? Consistently. So finding ways to get a quick score, or in basketball you need layups, and in soccer if your team is struggling offensively, maybe find a way to generate those corners or more set pieces.
100%. Draw fouls higher up the field,
right.
Slow things down, get your players higher up the field into your attacking 18-yard box.
Here is Chester over the ball now for Louisville. Talking about set pieces, here comes Louisville with a chance to do some damage. Chester. Ball being pinballed around and a little bit wide.
Good opportunity here for Louisville. Good ball in for Maddie Chester to that back post. And Navju has off the ball running. Sherry does very well just to put it back into a traffic area right across that 6-yard box. Just doesn't have the technical ability to get on the end of it here. You just see she's going to want this one back. I think that's Maddie Ellsworth there.
Emma Tucker trying to make her way through the Louisville defense.
Bit sloppy in the back for University of Miami to start this second half here. Not having the ability just to connect the simple balls. By result of that, you give Louisville the ability just to step higher and try to trap you in your own defensive third. But I do think, once again, Katarina Molina, she's been spectacular on the ball, confident, going at players, having a bit of courageous play.
Both sides right now seem to be getting a little bit frustrated, having a hard time connecting passes, and a little bit has become a bit unsteady. Louisville, maybe something brewing here. No, that one's gonna trickle across the end line.
Just tries to overcomplicate it. Molly Cochran tries to go over the top. You just need to play it into the feet of your teammate there, and then there's a lot of success to be had.
Louisville's going to go with multiple changes. Zamborini comes in. Hiscock comes in. Sometimes when you get a lot of changes, that's a sign of displeasure by the coach, right? We need to really change things up. Geigley also in. Geyser also into the fray for Louisville. Against Pittsburgh, Louisville got goals in the 58th and 65th minute. So they were a second half team the other night. Chester trying to turn the corner. Here's Louisville now. Looking for the right combination. Good hustle by Salas.
Really good defensive play there from Salas just to read the oncoming run and stay like for like with her individual marker. Lunges in at the right time. Denies Louisville an opportunity.
Louisville stays right with it. Miami under a bit of pressure now from the Cardinals. Oh, nice job by Dagenet. Oh, she lost it. And Louisville will capitalize. No goal. No goal. Louisville thought they had the goal. Geigley thought she had the goal. Dagenet had it, lost it. Louisville is trying to make an argument. Take another look at this one.
And as a goalkeeper, when you come off your line, how decisive are you going to be, especially with the contact that's coming on the back end? You just see the displacement from Geigley. She says she doesn't touch Melissa Dagenet. This will probably give us our best look. I'll tell you what, I do think there is an argument to be had if you're Geigley. This is not a foul. I do think on the back end, when she hits the floor, Melissa Dagenet loses control over the ball.
Well, very close, but just a little bit off. Louisville thought they had more than a good closing argument on that one.
You get away with one here if you're University of Miami. No foul whatsoever, and the ref doesn't see it. So now what's the reaction look like for both of these sides? Managing emotion is going to be really important for Louisville because their field hard done by. And for the Miami Hurricanes, maybe it's a bit of a wake-up call to kickstart. Here's Hack and Faze and say, we need to go out and get a goal here.
injured Miami player, maybe more than one. 2 players down at the same time. I think Molina is one of them. And Tucker was trying to slither through the defense. Took a bit of a fall here. Got tangled up with Alexander.
I think it's a follow through of Alexander's right leg that catches Emma Tucker's right ankle. No ill will there. And then we see Molina on her feet too. Good signs for Sarah Barnes. 2 players that have been so important. Just on the follow through, awkwardly catches Molina. Sigh of relief now if you're Sarah Barnes to see them back on their own power, up on their own feet. Moments ago, it's a trailing leg right there that catches Emma Tucker. Hopefully both of those players are okay to keep on going. Such important pieces to the puzzle for the Hurricanes.
Felton will sub into the game for Miami.
The Hurricanes in number 9, replacing number 12, Gianna Angelillo.
Easy play for Floyd. Hurricanes and the Cardinals, no score here in Coral Gables. Louisville trying to do something about that with a knuckleball that's deflected away by Dagenet.
What a fantastic save this is from Melissa Dagenet. Takes a wicked deflection, full extension, pushing it wide of her post. Top class from the goalkeeper.
So now Louisville with a corner kick. Louisville has to feel like here in the second half, they're right on the doorstep. Haley Howard with the corner. They've had the lion's share of the corners today, but haven't really had much to show for it. Really not even a threat off the corners.
And that's going to be frustrating for Kieran Ferguson days because set pieces, like we've talked about, Joe, are just so important. It's such a brilliant opportunity just to ask a question, to put the goalkeeper under pressure. Have not done that. 28 plus remaining minutes here for Louisville and Miami just to get that opening goal here.
Number 19, Delaney Brown. And number 22, Taylor Shell in for number 3, Adriana Snerda.
Cardinals sending numbers forward. More red jerseys now getting involved. Green jerseys on the back heel. Perhaps the Cardinals right now getting their second wind. I'm not sure what our delay is now. Let's see. A water break, perhaps? Perhaps something with the substitutions. Rogers trying to get back onto the field. Now Rogers will be allowed into the match. Rogers for Molina. Louisville, 9 shots so far.
In number 2, Maya Rogers.
Miami 2 shots.
Katarina Molina.
Louisville with 3 corners to 1 for Miami. Some space for Louisville, and a shot off the left foot. Dagenet up for the challenge on that one. Louisville found that space pretty easy.
Finding these half spots far too easy for the liking of Sarah Barnes. Zambroni head down, laces through the ball, but in the end, straight at Melissa Dagenet, and a goalkeeper of that quality is always going to make that save. You start to see coming to life this Louisville attacking unit, finding those spaces between lines, shooting from distance, and putting a lot of pressure on this Hurricane back line.
Zambroni, the senior midfielder, almost had herself a collector's item in Coral Gables, and here come the Cardinals again. Louisville must be thinking they're right on the doorstep of a breakthrough. They've had 9 shots to Miami's 2. And Miami again has to repel it. Mahmoudpour lays it back for Hood.
Those are the moments that if you're University of Miami, try to catch out this Louisville side in transition moments, because they commit so many numbers forward. They try to create overloads and try to find that opening goal, so it leaves himself extremely vulnerable going back the other way. So if you force a turnover, your first look needs to be forward into the path of Mahmoudpour, into the path of Caroline Hood, and have them the green grass to operate in beyond and behind this Louisville back line. But everything has been in front of this Louisville defense, so that gives them the ability just to stay compact from back to front and keep everything in their attacking 18-yard box.
Here come the Cardinals at Cobb Stadium in the box, trying to break through. Approaching 90 degrees in Coral Gables. No score. Miami and Louisville on the campus of the University of Miami. Also, doesn't seem as if either coach is satisfied with the personnel combination. They seem to be searching.
Just seems very difficult for either side just to get on a rhythm. Those are the moments that I'm talking about. Mahmoudpour needs to play that ball into Caroline Hood.
Yeah, Hood's taking off like a rocket ship.
He unbalances Louisville's side. She makes a brilliant run centrally. She has the ability just to be vertical, to be direct in her movement. But as you slow things down, you have a silly foul and just catch Haley Howard on the back end of it. But it's those little decision makings, those little instances that when a game is just so tight and so congested in that middle third that make a massive difference to unlock and find that opening goal.
Addie Chester comes on. Geigley goes out.
Number 11, Addie Chester.
Huckabee, the freshman, re-enters.
Number 27, Emerson Jennings, replacing number 4, Emma Hiscock. Number 9, Molly Cochran in for number 19, Keonha Geiger. Number 2,
Louisville really turning over their players.
They're trying to keep those fresh legs. Minute number 70 on the road in this heat. Just trying to keep freshness, bit of extra energy and the intensity at a high level. We're Kieran Ferguson days.
Louisville does have 4 draws this season. Hood trying to get free. On to Mahmoudpour. Mahmoudpour. Tailgated by 3 red jerseys. And if you're Miami, again, a cold front with your offense in that did not score against Clemson, and now you're 70 minutes into this one without a goal.
Take it a step further as well. 2 shots in the entirety of this game. Those 2 shots have been from distance and haven't really tested Aaron Floyd whatsoever. We talked about how to get that kickstart in the attacking phase of the game. Right now, you're looking for a quality service from Emily McCartney here, just to whip the ball right between that 6-yard box and penalty mark to cause chaos within your attacking 18-yard box.
McCartney for Hood and sails it over the crossbar.
Nice little idea, but you would want to put the ball in a dangerous area. Caroline Hood, she's so active, so good 1v1, but always rising over the crossbar.
Good job by Hood getting to her right foot. The freshman from Massachusetts. We'll have a water break now. 70 minutes into the match. Coming down the home stretch. We'll take a break. Miami and Louisville are scoreless. 70 minutes into our match, an hour and 10 in. No score, Miami and Louisville. Cardinals have carried the play for the most part in terms of offensive threat. Miami, not much from the offensive side in back-to-back games. Now, here in the final 20 minutes, looking at execution. We saw a game earlier this year in Miami where a simple mistake right in front of goal cost them the game. So you're looking at execution now and conditioning.
I think you're looking for game changers as well, right? You're looking for someone just to have that little bit of magic because the talent is on the field 100%. I do think if you're Sarah Barnes, you're looking at that front line, whether it is Mahmoudpour, Caroline Hood, Molina getting more active. On the other side, you have Louisville 2 players that have scored 2 goals, Molly Cochran and Addie Chester. Get them higher up the field, get them in the more advanced positions, and have them express themselves, because I do think this game is going to be won and lost. You talk about maybe a silly mistake, but also someone just being clinical in the attacking 18-yard box.
Cardinals have a unbeaten streak going in the last 3 matches. 1-0-1 in conference play. Miami 1-1 in conference play. Up next for Louisville is Notre Dame. Thrown by Huckabee. Roberts. Tucker is slow to get up. She's had a tough second half here.
Just getting beaten up here on the Tucker. Just on the fall through maybe. Huckabee just catches her. Once again, good to see her on her own feet.
On the Miami side, Mahmoud, Poor, and Hood have been almost on the verge of some collaboration.
I think there is a positive if you're Sarah Barnes in this match. You talk about coming off the heels of a 5-0 loss against Clemson. Not your best performance on the defensive front, but so far, 74 minutes here, been very good at frustrating your opposition, not giving them anything easy, any clear-cut opportunities. Yes, we passed Melissa Dagenet to make big-time save after big-time save. It's something to be expected from her quality. The defensive structure has been far better here today for Sarah Barnes and the University of Miami.
That one over the top of Dagenet and the crossbar.
Substitutions for both teams. First for the Hurricanes, in number 3, Adriana Serna, replacing number 22, Taylor Shell. For Louisville, number 19,
Serna back in for Miami. Geyser comes in for Louisville. Who can provide a moment of magic here in the final 15 minutes? Dagenet almost got stuck there in no man's land. Able to scoop it up. Here's another look at it, Ricky.
So confident when she comes off her line. And like you said, very dicey moment. Serna just comes in and gets the wrong body position. But for battle with Melissa Dagenet, quick off her line, decisive, puts an end to any sort of mess that was brewing there.
Flick forward. McCartney back for Miami. Louisville with a takeaway. Here come the Cardinals. What do we have here? Into the box. And cleared away by Miami.
They're getting into very good spots. Louisville Cardinals, a nice little two-man game here. Essentially, but just doesn't have the ability just to keep her footing there.
What do we have here for Louisville? Big chance right here, and Dagenet was zeroed in on it the whole time. Eyes narrowed and focused. Dagenet right there with the save.
Falls extremely kindly here for Emerson Jennings. It's a clean strike. Laces straight through the ball. Like you said, Joe, straight at Melissa Dagenet. Easy save for her.
10 shots now for Louisville. Llewellyn brings a lot of energy, re-enters for Miami.
for both teams. For Louisville, number 4, Emma Hiscox.
11 shots for Louisville.
7, Emerson Jennings.
They've had 3 corners.
For the Hurricanes,
Miami with just 3 shots thus far.
replacing number 19, Delaney Brown, and number 5, Claire Llewellyn in for number 21, Lauren Meese.
Mahmoudpour trying to get out of a pickle. Huckabee trying to make some magic for Louisville.
Really good defensive play there from Emma Tucker. Huckabee's been so active on this near side for Louisville. So good 1v1, so direct in her play, but Emma Tucker, textbook defending 101. Great ball.
Huckabee gets it into the box. Here we go for Louisville. Shot deflected away by Dagenet and cleared by Miami. Louisville again, right on the doorstep of a breakthrough. Miami defending for their lives, and Dagenet up for the challenge for the Canes. Here's another look.
This ball is just so good from Huckabee. And it's Hiscock getting on the end of it with a brilliant run, slashing across this back four of University of Miami. Melissa Dagenet, big time save after big time save once again. And this ball falls kindly here to Geyser. An ability to keep it underneath the crossbar. But what a fantastic save on the initial instance from that young lady, Melissa Dagenet.
Came in today with 220 career saves. Feels like she's had 220 in one game.
Substitutions for both teams. In for Louisville, number 5.
Taylor Shell back in for Miami.
Misty Huckabee. For the Hurricanes, number 22.
Alexander for Louisville.
Number 26.
If you're on the Miami side, you'd like to think you could reward your goalie by generating a late goal and a win. She's done everything she can.
It's all about decision making now for University of Miami, especially in the back line. You don't want to cause any sort of turnover so deep in your defensive half. Risk versus reward. Just clear your lines, play direct. Getting some real estate higher up the field. Because Louisville, full of confidence at the moment, committing a lot of numbers forward.
Into the final 10 minutes. Make or break time now. Cobb Stadium here in Coral Gables under intense summer heat. No sign of a break with fall. We do not have a hint of autumn in the air here yet.
Do we ever?
Occasionally. Here's Llewellyn. Now Felton. Hurricanes offense has not been heard from here in 2 games. Cerna. Takeaway by Louisville. Salas trying to get there. Off the left foot, I believe that was Llewellyn. Now Cerna. Miami moving forward. Rogers trying to come up with some late game heroics. And Miami will finally get a corner kick. Only their second of the game coming up. So a big moment right here for the Canes. McCartney will send it in.
Hurricane substitution.
Molina had a couple of shots in the first half.
Replacing number 7.
Re-enters the fray. Here's McCartney. Mahmoudpour tried to back up on it. Here's a blast right at the goalie. Aaron Floyd right there and ready.
Really well hit here. As the ball pops out, kindly straight at Floyd. I think that's in the corner. It's 1-0 for University of Miami. I think that was Maya Rogers that gets on the end of it. Technique to hit that off the half volley. Really well struck. Just so unfortunate. There's not a couple yards to either side of Aaron Floyd.
In the right spot at the right time. That was the best shot of the day. Here's another look at it.
Just a technique as this ball's falling down with the traffic oncoming. Always want to get your shoulders over the ball to make sure it stays underneath the crossbar. Did just that. In the end, Aaron Floyd has to have a sigh of relief that it's straight at her.
Mahmoudpour, some fancy work with her feet. Molina trying to get to her right foot. 5.5 minutes to play at Cobb Stadium. A foot race forward for Mahmoudpour. In the box. Rogers wanted it on her foot. You could see her gesturing for the ball. She had worked herself into a position right where she wanted it.
That's when you start to see the frustration when you're not having maybe the success that you would like on the attacking phase. You try to overcomplicate things and try to do too much. But in hindsight, you have to be simple. Just play the most effective ball. In that case, it was straight into Maya Rogers. Let her change the angle. But over the last couple of minutes, you start to see Miami get on the ball just a tiny bit more and have more of an attacking presence to see this game out.
It's been a long, hot day here. Right now, neither team wants to leave anything on the table after the first 85 minutes. Quick throw in by Geyser. Gets it right back. Geyser on the wing. Louisville with a chance here. Time now becoming a commodity on short supply for both sides. Will that be a corner for Louisville? Louisville with a big chance here. Addie Chester played well this afternoon as we go into the 87th minute. A sea of bodies surfing around, and Dagenet is the one that comes up with the play.
Has to be frustrating for Karen Ferguson days. Just a amount of free kicks or corner kicks that you've had for Lou City.
12 shots for Louisville today. They've outshot Miami 12-4. Molina quickly wants it. Hurricanes trying to show they have some huff and puff. Llewellyn along the end line. Floyd right there. Louisville's won 6 in a row in this matchup with Miami. 3 in a row at Cobb Stadium. Desperation setting, and now coming up to the final minute of play.
It's going to be a frustrating foul to concede if you're Mahmoudpour. And Sarah Barnes, there's just no need. Minute remaining. Now you give Louisville the ability just to slow things down, get numbers. That 18-yard box.
1 minute.
When you have Henry Chester on the ball, you always expect quality.
Chester rising above the fray. Dagenet, final minute of play in Coral Gables. Tightly knotted, very close game. 30 seconds to go. No score. Last roll of the dice coming up for Miami. Hurricanes will be outshot in this one, 13-4, it appears.
7, 6.
Last chance here at the final seconds, and it's a goal for Miami. The Hurricanes are going to win this one. Reese Wheeler comes storming in at the death to win it. My goodness gracious. At the final seconds, go off the clock. Miami has a wild celebration. Wheeler's first goal of the season.
Just incredible. The game is not over till the whistle blows. Give credit to Molina. The little bit of extra effort to get on the end of it. And as she cuts this ball back, that's where the real estate is, because the back line for Louisville, they're retreating towards the goal line. So who is going to make that secondary action? It's Reese Wheeler. The ball falls kindly into her feet. Fantastic first-time finish to the top corner. No chance for Aaron Floyd against the run of play. Yes, Miami Hurricanes, they will not care. 2 seconds remaining on the clock. You see what it means. Dongpa right in front. The Louisville goal. Fantastic.
There was a long wait, but the moment Miami has waited for is there. Wheeler delivers the game winner with 1 second remaining. And this one goes in favor of Miami. Joy in Coral Gables for the Hurricanes, and heartbreak for the Louisville Cardinals. They concede a goal with a split second on the clock.
It's going to be a very frustrating one for Karen Ferguson Days, because you were probably the better side on the day in terms of getting on the ball, creating chances. But we talk about managing moments, especially in this ACC conference that's just so competitive, being clinical in both 18-yard box. Big time win for Sarah Barnes and University of Miami.
My goodness, the Hurricanes needed a hero, and they get one. So, for Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Joe Zagacki saying so long from Coral Gables. Our final score, Miami 1, Louisville 0. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on ACC Network, download the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the world.